time to start jumping is when you're 5 or 6.
What I want to know is how these kids get involved into ski jumping at 6 years old. Hello everyone, Gobnuke here with another And Enjoy the Show episode. And in this episode, I am reviewing the movie Eddie the Eagle. Now, Eddie the Eagle is based on the true story of Michael Edwards, aka Eddie, who's played by Taron Egerton. It's the story of his journey to become an Olympian.
Where do you think you're going, young man?
The Olympics.
As long as I can remember, it has been my ambition to become an Olympian.
Eddie, you are not an athlete!
I just needed to find the right sport.
And it was kind of really interesting and sad to watch his story play out as all these people, including his dad and the head of the British Olympic Committee, were like completely against him ever achieving his dream. The head of the British Olympic Committee pretty much straight up tells him, "You are not Olympian material." And Eddie's kind of an inspiration because he will not let anything stop him. And part of what gets him into ski jumping is the fact that he knows that there are no other British ski jumpers and not as high of a restriction for him to get qualified. This is his ticket to become an Olympian. So he takes off to Germany to the ski jumping training facility there and starts trying to learn how to ski jump on his own with regular equipment. These are some funny but hard to watch scenes. And then he goes and does the 40 meter and biffs it hard, and you're just like, oh, that's funny, but that's terrible. And as the story progresses, each time he gets on the slope, it's tense, and that's a good thing, because if the filmmakers weren't doing a good job, you wouldn't feel that tension, and you wouldn't be worried about Eddie's survival or how he's gonna come out of this. Eddie finds his will-be coach, and Bronson Perry, who's played by Hugh Jackman, who at first wants nothing to do with him, which is a nice twist from your usual underdog story where the coach just kind of takes them under their wing and they go. This is where our underdog is bugging the heck out of the coach nonstop to the point where he starts giving him tips so that he'll leave him alone. The thing I think is the most important message in this film is never give up on your dreams and to always give your all. And I really like that was the focus of this movie, was that for Eddie, it wasn't, the medals were nice, but it was more of, he wanted to represent his country. He wanted to be an Olympian more than anything. He wanted to participate more than anything, and giving it all he's got, which is a very important message, and one that is delivered very, very well through Taron Egerton, who, like I said, plays Eddie. This is an actor who is kind of new on the scene, especially in the public eye. He was the star of last year's R-rated satire spy spoof based on James Bond films called Kingsman: The Secret Service with Colin Firth. He plays the main character, Eggsy. Yes, Eggsy. At first in the film, he's kind of like this punk kid who wants to do what's right, and then you see his transformation into this suave, sleek spy who can do all these amazing things. And it was really cool to see him in such a drastically different role. Eggsy is so different from Eddie, even though they rhyme.
I know this bloke who's just taken over a tailor shop on Savile Row. He's giving me a job, Mum. Comes with a lot of perks.
Just change the rules. Don't I have a right to represent my country? I have to do this.
I take jumping very seriously, nearly as much as proving people wrong.
This kid's got range, and he's going to be going places. Expect to see him in more movies coming up because he does just a fantastic job. Now, Hugh Jackman is great in everything he does, but there were times where I lost sight of his character and saw Hugh Jackman, especially in one kind of over-the-top scene about Bo Derek. And if you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. That kind of felt more like I was watching Hugh Jackman than his character. There were only a couple times where I felt the directing had problems because some of the ways that they filmed the ski jumps weren't as captivating as I hoped, and part of that could have just been their limitations in filming a ski jump. I mean, there's one scene that is clearly a CGI ski jumper, but at the same time, when you're watching what's playing for, you're like, I know it's CG, but I'm glad that that's CG because, yikes. but there's a couple scenes where it's kind of jarring between the scenes. You're not quite sure what's happening until like 3 scenes later. They're like, oh, that's what was happening 3 scenes ago. But now I'm thinking about the scene 3 scenes ago and not thinking about the scene that's taking place in front of me now. It did happen a couple times, and a little bit of a nitpick moment is there is a time where Hugh Jackman's character does do a jump, and I felt like that jump was given more attention and dramatization than a lot of the other jumps that probably would have fared, you know, more emotional investment from us if they had been more dramatized like that jump. Because this jump's near the beginning of the film, and it kind of, I know, set a bar high for the future jumps that they never just quite got there. I'm not going to say anything with the last jumps. They set this high bar for Hugh Jackman's character's jump that kind of took me out of the film a little bit, because, you know, I want to feel this dramatization excitement with Eddie, with my main character, the person I'm invested in, and that didn't quite happen as much or more than I would have liked it to have happened. Overall, this was just a good, uplifting film, a good underdog story. It wasn't amazing, but it was definitely worth your time. It was definitely well acted. If you want a feel-good film, especially amongst all these films that are trying to teach you the meaning of life and are all depressing and moody, definitely go see Eddie the Eagle, as I have to rate it 3.5 rows of teeth out of 5. It's not quite good enough, in my opinion, to be a 4 out of 5, but I'm probably going to buy this film on Blu-ray, especially if you're like at a matinee time that you're wondering what movie to go see. Eddie the Eagle is definitely a solid choice. Be sure to give a thumbs up if you like this video and hit that subscribe button to see what's coming next. That's all I've got to say for Eddie the Eagle. I have been your host, Gobnuke, the Indie Hat Media Shark, and as with anything, whether it be playing a video game or watching a movie, just always remember to enjoy the show, and I'll see you next time.